Vanessa and I, less than a week ago, just got back from our 5th International Guitar Camp in August here of 2017. And we're planning already for next year. I can't believe it. It's like we got dates and everything. But what are some of the quick things that you remember about this camp that seemed like they were that jump out at you? What was fun?
What was fun?
I think about the people,
I thought exactly the same thing. Just didn't know how to summarize it.
Yeah.
As in, for me, the feeling that everyone left visually, visually clearly. Content. I could tell from everyone that they were really happy.
Yeah.
And to say goodbye to everyone like that, them being very happy and getting everything out of it, what they were looking for, and more.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier for it.
I think a lot of them, first of all, the progress we see in people is just, it's astronomical.
Yeah. And that's for them, of course, really motivating too.
Right.
Every year it builds up.
And many of them we see from year to year. When we think about year one and we see, what Wiley was like that year, could barely get through a song and now is, stealing the stage. And, one of last year's first timers, Lisa,
yeah, she took my breath away.
Yeah, turned into a superstar.
Yeah.
Just over in a year.
In a year.
With getting up.
How can it be?
Yeah, and everybody, I think everybody enjoyed the open mics. I think are the highlights for it seems like everybody, they start spending their year getting ready for them.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody's home and now working on next year's plans already.
Yes.
So
that's why it's getting better too.
Yeah.
Every year they're being more motivated to get something done, and then they do, and then they get even more. So it's a great circle we've got into.
Yeah, and it just becomes a huge part of their life that brings so much joy to them. It's just so fun to see. I mean, I left this year the same, just like last year though. Just so happy that that everybody had such a fabulous time. So we're the workshops were great. The performance workshop, your sing along class was killer.
It works really well. It's fun.
People had a lot of fun in there. Playing 4 or 5 songs in the little time after lunch every day.
Yeah.
The other teachers, Dave brings such energy and knowledge and just goodwill to everything. He's a master.
And we've
performer.
seen like Jim. Being really there too.
This was the first year.
He has been there before,
but this
not
time,
the whole camp.
Full time
was
huge because
and I thought he was really full of energy too.
He was.
He was really very much into it.
Yeah.
He had the space, of course, to do so as well, and he turned out to be not just a vocal coach, but also to play pretty well on the bass and the guitar, and to do pretty much everything which was needed.
Had his Chapman stick there, his Zen drum.
Yeah.
It's anybody that wanted to could mess around with that stuff.
Yeah.
It was. So that was neat. Doug brought some great insight into exercises and alternate tuning things, and people really liked the songs that he worked on.
Yeah.
I think you got to spend. I don't know if you got to spend as much time as you wanted to. I feel like I did, seeing people individually.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, there might be something going on, but there's always you or I, or we're always around there.
Yeah.
And being contained at Asilomar in this thing was spectacular too, because we had this whole little area to ourselves with the 2 meeting rooms. And places there were 8 people could be playing in different parts just around the buildings and not be in each other's way. And so that was 8 groups of people, really,
So I spent quite a bit of time on teaching, indeed, but also a lot of collaborations. Mm-hmm. So most of my 50 minutes with someone would turn out into how are we going to perform this song?
How are we going to perform this? Yeah.
And it was that's good too.
Yeah. And, Dave was the same way. He got recruited to play in a bunch of stuff. Karina got roped into singing a lot of songs for people. I don't want to say roped in because she loved doing it. That's why it's why she's there and stuff. So I think all of that really adds to the students' experience too, as they get to play with the song that you guys played at the end, Wagon Wheel.
That was much fun.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Tom on banjo.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Tom on banjo and Jeff playing guitar and singing, and Jim on bass on that, wasn't it?
And bass adds so much to it.
Yeah, and then Dave played fiddle on that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was
it was a complete wagon wheel performance.
Yeah, that was turning into being this 5-person collaboration, right? That sort of materialized just because Tom brought his banjo.
Yeah.
We had a little electric guitar stuff. Mark brought an electric guitar.
Yep.
Played an acoustic song on the electric guitar, but it worked out.
Okay.
It was okay. So, anyway, I thought the mini sets were really neat, where people, in the afternoon we set aside time where people could play more than just one song, because a lot of people had more than 4 songs ready, and could whip through things, tell stories. Bob and Pete did a great job there, and Jeff and Lisa,
of course.
Then our two really accomplished songwriters, Dan, and John Jameson. There's another guy who, from his first camp, which was the second one, I think, was John. I'm talking about now.
Okay.
Has really made an album.
It's just incredible.
Of course, every time he got up there, he had to say that they were available for sale. He was just like Dave. You can buy my album here in the back. It's only $10 to IGCers.
I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
What they've accomplished, what he has accomplished, but also Dan, of course.
And then the two of them really helped out with the songwriting class, with the experience there, and so
that's the level of playing you're getting now. Yeah. Students helping other students.
Yeah. I don't want to see much more of that. I can't put them on the payroll.
Otherwise, we'll out of a job.
Yeah, they won't need you or me. Pretty soon it'll be self sufficient
something?
and contained. I don't know. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, no.
So, anyway, that's it was just so much fun, and so glad you could be here for all this time too. And that you've been able to get out here every August so far for 5
awesome.
years.
This is absolutely.
And hopefully you got your calendar marked for next year.
Yeah.
So we are in the planning stages, August 17th to the 21st at the same place at Asilomar.
Yeah.
And
Friday, Tuesday this time.
Yeah,
which will probably work out quite a bit better for especially the Hogan family.
That was the biggest drawback for me, was it was a little further from my house, whereas presentation was 15 minutes. This is more like an hour and a half, and so Nani and my son did get up there and play one night, but the girls couldn't make it just on a weeknight. Next year on a weekend, they should be able to. Of course, we did manage to
Should be much better, she mentioned.
Yeah. We did manage to get the missing performance here
at least,
a few nights later, and that's up at the TG Forum. So I was really happy that they did that, because they went to a lot of trouble to have that song ready, and then they couldn't make the show. Did not go on.
It wasn't even like excuses. It was really true.
Right. It was just it was just too far away, and they have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're not staying up. The staying up late thing got a little out of hand at times.
If you compare it to other years.
Yeah,
at least for me.
There weren't any 4 o'clock nights, but there were a lot of 2 o'clock nights.
Kind of. I had to pass a little too.
Yeah. Well,
just two.
You just have to rearrange your napping schedule.
Yes.
Because you're not getting enough sleep at night.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. Well, that's it. We just wanted to run over some of our thoughts and recollections, and really looking forward to next year. Because
to express the enthusiasm that all of us had and that we personally had.
Yeah, it was great. And one thing that was really different for me this year and last year is I came back kind of just, instead of coming back drained and like wiped out, I came back like recharged, ready to get back to my. I mean, we ended up on a Friday night, and Monday I was looking forward to seeing my students.
Yeah.
Whereas a few years ago, when we were in the earlier stages, I'd need like a week off.
We were exhausted.
Yeah, it's like there was no, and so it's really changed. It really energizes.
As for efficiency, we've done quite a good job this time.
Yeah. It hasn't been stressful really at all. I think from my point of view, it almost runs itself. One thing that even Larry agreed with after a little while. Larry is our video guy who always wants to know exactly what's going on and where he needs to be and all this other stuff. And in the past, we'd laid out schedules, maybe a week or two in advance. This time I laid out the schedule usually like the night before, or sometimes first thing in the morning. And I just I'd say, just meet back here at 9 o'clock, and then I'll have the schedule. Then I'll have the agenda ready. And I think it worked great, because it gave us the flexibility to have George's Corner.
Yeah.
Dave mentions his song, George's Corner, and then some people say, hey, we'd like to maybe play this. And I kind of like look at the clock and I say, you know what, let's have a George's Corner class in an hour. We got, and they got up there and performed that. Yeah. And that was really cool too, because so just the flexibility that it really has worked.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway, I hope if you're watching this, you either were with us and you know exactly what we're talking about, or you are thinking of joining us in 2018 at Asilomar, the beautiful place. Maybe next year the sun will even come out. It was a little cold and foggy.
Except the first evening, that one was gorgeous, and other than that, well.
Yeah, and of course, it was the day of the eclipse. We had an eclipse that morning, and then went out to Asilomar that afternoon.
Wow.
So it was a good thing it wasn't cold. And I know the eclipse didn't show up in Monterey that day. But we had it here.
We're still here.
We had it in the backyard here. So, okay, that's it. Thanks for the little chat, and I really hope you're considering joining us at Asilomar in August of 2018.